in a world where everything's recorded and played back and taken out of context, I mean, you could be easily twisted up. Effective leaders are good communicators. I mean, they're able to communicate effectively. You can't, it doesn't matter how much knowledge you have in your head, it doesn't matter how brilliant you are, if you can't effectively communicate intent and communicate information to people in a way that they can actually understand it, then you're not going to be able to lead well. I mean, you may be able to talk about some theories or some things in abstract, but you're not going to be able to actually imbue people with practical information that they can execute. So, it becomes even more important these days. You look at the complex nature of our environment. We've got chiefs and police commissioners and leaders that are being, presented to the media, and the media are questioning them. And they're talking about all kinds of complicated issues like racism and police violence and all these other things. Those leaders have to be able to properly communicate, answer those questions, and be verbally agile enough to navigate those dangerous waters. Because, in a world where everything's recorded and played back and taken out of context, I mean, you could be easily twisted up. So, you really have to work on that. And communication is a skill. It's not something that, again, that comes natural for anyone. So, well, that guy's a natural communicator. Well, they may have personality traits that dispose them to being more open, right? But I wouldn't say that without training and practice, anyone's going to be a great communicator. I think that's something you really have to work on. So we kind of round it out by talking about that, right? It's not only what you know, but what you're able to share. And you can see how important that is for trainers. I mean, how many times have you seen in your career, I grew up in the DT world, in the defensive tactics space. I met many fighters engaged in everything from MMA to wrestling, kickboxing, who were great fighters. They couldn't teach a lick. They could not transfer the knowledge they had onto the students. And I got to tell you, and this is a pretty bold statement, but if I had to choose between someone who was a great fighter and a mediocre teacher, or someone who was a really mediocre fighter and a great teacher to run a DT class, I'm choosing the latter. Because the most important thing is that trainer be able to impart knowledge onto those students so that the knowledge they'll be able to use. And the hallmark for that trainer would be like, look, they could train people to do things better than they can do them.
Thanks for watching this clip of the Tactical Breakdown Podcast. To get access to more interviews just like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button and that little notification bell. Or, even better, come join us on the ILEETA Network, ILEET.network, where you will get access to world-leading instructors, trainers, hundreds of hours of training content designed to change the standard of law enforcement training. We'll see you there.